French President Emmanuel Macron will be in will be here in India in Jaipur at about 2:30 in the afternoon is when he's expected to land. To remember, he's a chief guest for this year's Republic Day celebrations. Macron will land this afternoon and he will begin his packed day. He will be at the fort in Jaipur. He's supposed to be at the Amer Fort where there is a cultural event that's been planned. He will be visiting that fort. From there on, he will be going to Jantar Mantar. A roadshow has been planned as well. Macron will be meeting with Prime Minister Modi at Jantar Mantar where both the leaders will hold that roadshow. They will also, from there, they will go across to Hawa Mahal. They are in fact expected to have that famous chai of Jaipur at Hawa Mahal, and it's also expected that India's proposed procurement of 26 Rafale fighter jets as well as submarines would also figure in the talks. A private dinner for Mr. Macron has also been planned at the Rambagh Palace in Jaipur before both the leaders depart for Delhi later tonight. Let's just get you more details of what all is on the agenda with my colleague Harsha.
So this is the famous Hawa Mahal, the UNESCO World Heritage Site where Prime Minister Narendra Modi and French President Emmanuel Macron will end their visit. It's very interesting that here the visit will end after a road show from Jantar Mantar. And you can see that, you know, the handicrafts that are on display here, the French president is expected to see some of this very traditional handicraft of Jaipur. You can see wooden puppets are here. There is a beautiful bandhani on the walls. There is a tie and dye which is on display. There's also someone has, you know, Ram Mandir is very much the flavor of the season. So somebody's made a small Ram Mandir here. Which is also on display. Of course, there, you know, Jaipur was the first planned city of medieval India, and it's very interesting that Jaipur actually was, in some senses, when the Mughal Empire broke up, then a lot of the art and craft that was patronized by the Mughals actually shifted to Jaipur. And if you also see the very, very famous and unique blue pottery that is on display here, the French president is also going to take a look at this. This is the typical Jaipur blue. And then you also have that deep indigo which comes from Persia and Iran. We have people here who have been in this craft actually for generations. And the other very important craft is the Meenakari. This is very, very famous in Jaipur. Your name please, and आप कितने समय से ये craft practice कर रहे हैं?
मेरा नाम गुलाब सिंह है। 16वीं सदी से ये कार्य चलता आ रहा है। मैं 13 साल की उम्र से ये कार्य कर रहा हूँ और इस
क्या कहलाता है
ये राजस्थानी मीनाकारी कहलाती है सर। और इस मीनाकारी के लिए 2019 में राष्ट्रीय पुरस्कार से सम्मानित मैं हो चुका हूँ। और
So you can see the Meenakari here on display, and of course all payments are going to be made by the UPI. But you know, this entire visit here at Hawa Mahal is going to end on a very special note. There's going to be tea here. So here you can see this Sahu Ji ki chai. There's Gulab Ji ki chai and Sahu Ji ki chai. And Sahu Ji ki chai is very, very famous. Ram is going to be making tea tomorrow. How excited are you to meet the French President and the Prime Minister?
I am very excited for the कल हम जो पीएम साहब को यहाँ पे चाय पिलाएंगे, इसके लिए हम बहुत खुश हैं और पूरी तैयारियों के साथ हम यहाँ पर आ चुके हैं। और कल
कितना पुराना है आपका चाय का ये रेस्टोरेंट?
65 इयर्स ओल्ड से ये हमारी चाय की दुकान है।
क्या खासियत है चाय की?
चाय की खासियत यही है कि हम बेटर क्वालिटी की सभी चीज़ यूज करते हैं और एक स्पेशल मसाला यूज करते हैं जो एक डिफरेंट टेस्ट बनाती है हमारी चाय को, जो लोगों को बहुत ही पसंद आता है।
It's a tea with a difference. It's got a different masala now. A lot of VIP guides have also been assigned to be here. I have with me Madan Ji. Madan Ji is one of the VIP guides who's been assigned to be at Hawa Mahal. Madan Ji, what is the, you know, there's going to be a very big delegation. So what has the criteria been to choose the guides and where all are the guides going to be placed?
We don't have any type of the criteria, just government and to choose we are working last since long time as a VIP delegation. So we decided, the government decided we have the 9 guides and 6 guides in the language and the 3 guides in English.
Okay, and कहाँ पे रखा जाएगा उनको?
We appoint, government appoint the 3 guides in the Amer Fort and 3 guides Jantar Mantar and 3 guides here.
Okay, and Modi ji का क्या program रहेगा, थोड़ा सा बताइए?
Maybe the Modi ji program roadshow, and will we meet all together here and enjoy some masala chai and something different, chai pe charcha.
Okay. So the famous lines there, chai pe charcha. So that's how the event here is going to end, and you can see that the payments are going to be made by something that is a mark of the digital transition in India. The Bheem UPI is going to be used to make payments here. So that's also carefully chosen, carefully crafted. This visit, which is going to end at the beautiful and famous iconic monument of Jaipur. It's really a signature monument of Jaipur, the Hawa Mahal. In Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
Well, we also have Kadamri joining us. Kadamri, that tea, that special masala tea at Hawa Mahal was looking very, very tempting. And, the two leaders are expected to perhaps pick up some blue pottery as well. Like Harsha was mentioning, they'll be paying with the Bheem UPI. Of course, when you talk about the kind of relationship that India has with the French leader, we do remember that Prime Minister Modi was the guest of honor at France's Bastille Day celebrations, which took place in July last year. I mean, President Biden couldn't make it for the Republic Day celebrations, which is why President Macron was invited. Take us through the significance of his visit here in India.
Well, first of all, it's unlike Delhi, it's a very sunny day in Jaipur. So the roadshow and his visit would be conducted here in this sunny day. And as for significance, you can understand that after Joe Biden was he was unable to come. The first invitation went to the French president, and he immediately accepted. Now we have to see that in July 2023, President PM Modi was there, and there were several significant understandings which were reached. Now there's a question being asked whether what would be the very important understanding or MOU which would be signed this time when he is visiting here. The important part is the significance of the visit, is that it would be built upon on whatever was discussed and agreed upon in July 2023. Now we also have been hearing that he would be paying through UPI. We know how India is pushing UPI and how several countries are interested in what India has done with UPI. That is one important point. What we also talk about whenever we talk about relations with France is about defense deals. So there have been important defense deals. We already have 36 Rafales, but there are 26 more, the maritime Rafales, which are supposed to be taken for Navy. That also has been agreed upon. That will be here in, let's say, 3 years. That is the time period which has been given. There have been talks about scoping. That too has been agreed upon. So there are several levels of this cooperation. The spectrum of this relationship is quite huge. Now the mobility agreement which was signed in 2023, that will also be assessed, because for the first time France has agreed that the students who are there, they would get 2 more years to stay there, and there would be alumni who would be agreed to that. Like 10,000 students are there, but by 2030 there would be 30,000 students. So this is a spectrum of understanding a relationship which spans not only defense, but it is maritime security, it is cyber, it is tourism. Almost 2 lakh French tourists visited India in 2019, and around 70,000 Indians visited France. So that people-to-people contact is also happening. So this visit basically is going to cement upon these things which have already been reached there, but also there might be some agreements which would come out only after the bilateral meeting this evening is over.
Right. So, Kadamni, we will keep tracking that story and the movement of the two leaders that are expected to meet in Jaipur before they head to the national capital later tonight, before the Republic Day celebrations. Thank you so much for getting us all those details.